We are back in Lexington. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Button set for game time between Kentucky and Florida. All-time as an AP top 10 team when facing an unranked opponent. Dan Mullen, pretty good. Florida, pretty good. As they are taking on an unranked but very dangerous Kentucky team. Now against top 10 teams all-time, only 13 wins. But against ranked teams for Kentucky. That storyline has shifted as this program has become more and more dangerous under Coach Stoops, as they are 7-10 against ranked opponents since 2015. Although Florida would be the highest ranked opponent that they would beat were they to get this win tonight. Kentucky won the toss and deferred. So the Gators start with the football. Will be strength on strength, as we will have a top 10 offense against a top 10 defense.
This offensive line for Florida is really the story of their offense. Emory Jones has done such a great job over the past couple weeks of really allowing his athleticism to be on display. Dan Mullen is one of the best play callers in all of college football. But this scene right now in Lexington and the defense for Kentucky will come to play tonight and challenge one of the best running offenses in America.
We saw this Gators team 3 games ago when they went to Tampa and trounced USF. That was the last time we saw Anthony Richardson on the field. Strained his hamstring in that game. He is due to return tonight. And we already have flags, as it looks like it might be offsides against Kentucky.
Offside, contact by number 50, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Emory Jones on a keeper on 1st and 5, and he picks up 4. Harrington Valentine came up to force him back inside and cut him down around the ankles.
Something Dan Mullen spoke about when it came to Emory Jones is really just learning him and his style of play and how important it is to get him into the flow of the football game early when it comes to his movement and his athleticism.
Second down and 1. And he looks up the seam. Right over the middle. He's got a wide open Trent Whittemore. And that's a first down in plus territory for 19.
Beautiful eyes by Emory Jones. Watch, he's going to stare to the right of your screen. Number 1's not there. Number 2's not there. Come back to 3 and place it just over that linebacker to Whittemore. That's the Emory Jones that we did not see 3 or 4 weeks ago. Going through those progressions, getting off number 1, finding the soft spots in the zones.
Little run pass option, and it's Whittemore again. He's got about 8 more. Well, make it 7 to the 41-yard line of Kentucky. And in that USF game, Dan Mullen mentioned to us, tried some different things with Emory Jones. What did you see any kind of a switch flip in that game where you thought, oh wait, Emory Jones may be ready to go somewhere else here?
Since that game, I would say, yeah. I mean, definitely since that game, it's been much more play action pass. 1st and 2nd down, it's been about getting him outside the pocket. And like I said, Dan had to learn what Emory does well and what he needs growth on moving forward.
There's a tackle for loss, though, for Kentucky. That's what they specialize in, run defense. DeAndre Square forced into the backfield Malik Davis. A 3-yard loss as Square pushed the line of scrimmage. And Wan'Dale Robinson came through to help on the stop as well. 3rd down and 6. Blitz off the edge. Emory Jones, quarterback keeper, and now an early decision for Dan Mullen to make. Jaquez Jones brings him down. about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. It will be 4th down in plus territory. And here comes the punt group. Little delayed reaction from the Florida sideline, and now the crowd realizes Kentucky has held, and they'll get the football.
It's a fantastic job of disciplined football by Kentucky's defense, just winning that 3rd down.
Ali with a fair catch. He'll let it bounce, though. And it gets to the goal line and into the end zone for a touchback. Florida had a chance to down that inside the 5, if not at the 1.
It's a pretty good punt. Ali's trying to sell that he's going to go catch it. And really, there's just that gap between Henderson and Shorter, and the ball finds it. And you would love for both of those guys to put kind of their heels right in front of the goal line, close enough to each other where that ball is not able to split them.
And now the grad transfer, Will Levis from Penn State. An interception last week. He's got 7 touchdowns against 5 picks this season. That's been the Achilles heel for this Kentucky team. It's amazing they're undefeated considering the fact they have coughed it up as much as they have. They are -9 in the giveaway takeaway ratio, but they're going to take a shot here, and that will overthrow everyone. Isaiah Epps, the deep intended target. Avery Helm was back there in coverage.
I like the aggression coming from Kentucky, just starting this game with the shot play. You mentioned this offense and kind of careless with the football. Will Levis, their starting quarterback, he's a really dynamic, intense athlete, but he's absolutely at his best within structure. And that's really going to be a focal point for him today. How much he can kind of play with calm feet, structure within the game plan, and really allow the trust of everybody else around him to make some plays.
And off to Smoke. And he pushes the pile for about 5, so it will be 3rd down and 5. Now, a big injury for this Florida defense to go along with the fact that Ventrell Miller has torn biceps out for the year. They're already down Jaden Hill, one of their starting corners, earlier with a torn ACL. And Kyer Elam, all week it was expected that he would be able to play. That's a top 15, if not a top 10 NFL projected draft pick at corner, but he's got a knee injury that kept him out of the Alabama game, or at least suffered in the Alabama game. He missed the Tennessee game last week and not out there again tonight. Levis with a swing pass. That's incomplete. That'll be a 3-and-out for Kentucky.
I think that's going to be one that when Will Levis gets to the sideline, you really want to see him get off that back. Look at Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinators, talking to him. Hey, see the whole picture, right? Go to the right, just like Emory Jones had done. Reset your feet, and you're going to have the in route crossing the middle of the field. It's going to be wide open. So just a little bit of settling down into this environment for Will Levis early on.
Colin Goodfellow to punt. Xavier Henderson deep to receive. End over end kick. And it will go out of bounds with a late flag thrown. And this will be at the Florida 40-yard line. And it looks like we've got a player that may have gone out of bounds and maybe didn't come back in as quickly as necessary, because we've got official with no hat, and there's a flag on the field as well.
Looks like a fresh haircut, too. It's a good cut.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30, offense after the play. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. 1st down, timeout.
So we'll come back with Florida back to the offense. An inaccurately called penalty by the officials while we went to break. DeJuan Black from Florida, and you can see he was called for that push right there into the Kentucky bench. That was a 15-yard penalty, not against Kentucky, but against the Gators. And now Florida starts at their own 25-yard line. Damian Pierce finds a crease, tripped up. but not before picking up 13 and a first down. Tyrell Agent made the tackle.
This is when I think Florida's at their best. Watch the left guard, Ethan White, pull, kicks out square. It's a beautiful vision cut by Dameon Pierce. You know, Florida's got this outstanding run game, but I think they're at their best when they get those down blocks and pull people across the line of scrimmage.
Marquand McCall is down for Kentucky. So let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players. And Dan, what can we expect, especially from Kingsley Eguakon and that Florida offensive line as well?
Yeah, Eguakon's got to deal with McCall over his head, 350 pounds every play. And Jeremiah Moon, off-the-ball linebacker, holding against that Kentucky run game. And then Wan'Dale Robinson's got to make big plays, receiver down the field. DeAndre Square is going to have to roam to the football against this great run game.
And while they continue to tend to Marquand McCall, we will step aside and come right back to Lexington.
Every home game, a patient from Kentucky Children's Hospital gets to ride in this snazzy push cart down the catwalk. Today's patient, 9-year-old Jasmine Austin, who was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Kentucky center Luke Fortner actually helped design the Lift Them Up cart. He is a mechanical engineer major and a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy.
Anthony Richardson in at quarterback, and on a keeper finds a crease for 11 yards right up the middle. Well, again, the last time we saw Anthony Richardson was when he was grabbing his hamstring after a long touchdown run in Tampa 3 weeks ago. Could have played last week, but Dan Mullen said, my theory with hamstrings is when they say he can come back, add a week. Because it's so easy to strain that and have a 3 to 4 week injury become a 6 to 8 week injury. And so that was his philosophy. Rather than giving Anthony Richardson full possessions, they bring Emory Jones right back in. A first down from midfield. Jones to throw. Long throw to the sideline. Perfectly timed to Henderson. And it's a first down for the Gators inside the 30, a gain of 22.
This is such good connection between quarterback and receiver. Right side of the screen. Henderson's got to go. And Emory realizes, okay, corner's on top. Let me just throw a little bit of touch on this ball. Go to the back shoulder of Xavier Henderson. Really good understanding. Hey, the corner won this rep. Can we still execute?
Emory Jones to Henderson again. Little turnaround on the sideline, and he picks up 9. Harrington Valentine made the stop. It's a top 10 defense going up against a top 10 offense. The question is, especially for Kentucky, who they have built that top 10 defensive statistic against. This is a different level.
Yeah, well, first of all, the McCall injury, Marquand McCall, you know, him going down before the break is huge because he's a 350-pound spacer. But I think it's one of the better defenses in college football. Disciplined, doing your job.
Dameon Pierce finds a crease inside the 10. And it's first and goal for the Gators at the 7. Another tackle for Carrington Valentine.
There's another puller from the left side of their offensive line. Richard Garage, this time it's the tackle. Again, down blocks, knockout on square, another space for Dameon Pierce. You know, they just do such a good job of front side controlling and getting those guys just pinned a little bit. And those pullers for Florida's offense do a good job of picking their guy and getting on a quarter of his body. Now, Kentucky's going to have to use their movement and hold up at the point to slow down this run game.
Pierce stutter steps and lost his footing and just went down in the mosh pit near the 5-yard line. DeAndre Square credited with the tackle.
I kind of mentioned it about Kentucky's defense. They do such a good job of, hey, this is my gap. I stay in it. Understanding that greedy football hurts our football team. They're good discipline with their eyes. They're just going to get challenged to do it consistently against a great run game.
Fabian Fraziers makes the catch, turns up towards the goal line, and he's just short. No, they're going to say he got the ball across for a touchdown. A late signal from the official coming in from the far side says the ball broke the plane for a 7-yard score.
His knee go down here. Fraziers extends the ball.
Good call.
I think he just clips the plane of the goal line before that left knee goes down right there, huh?
The first look we had, I think, was the better of the two. That
Yeah.
he was still airborne when the ball broke the plane. Emory Jones off to a 5-for-5 start. Add the touchdown pass. Here's Jace Crispin. And Florida has the 7-0 lead.
A little bit of the run game. Beautiful blocks out on the perimeter by Whittemore and Henderson. And Fraziers reaches out.
College football Saturday, week 5 rolls on with yet another big SEC matchup on ESPN and the app. After we're done here in Lexington, we will take you to Death Valley. Auburn LSU is coming up next on 9 Eastern kick. 75-yard touchdown drive for the Gators. And more damage done, Dan, through the air than you will normally see, at least of late. A Gators team that has dominated on the ground.
It's really been about Emory Jones and being in control of this football game with this Northwestern.
Let's take you from our plan to play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Eyes, stare to the right, get to number 3, drop it over the linebacker, beautiful. Go route down the sideline to Henderson. Corners on top, just throw a back shoulder ball with a little bit of touch. Then down in the red zone, hold your eyes for a second, kick out, you got blocking on the perimeter. Fraziers go find the end zone. So it just looks like Emory Jones is in control right now as a quarterback and continuing that play we've seen over the last 2 weeks.
Levis to throw on first down. Little turnaround to Ali. He's got a first down and a gain of 15 out to the 40-yard line.
You know, one of the things that you'll hear us talk about a lot with Kentucky's offense tonight, motion. So much motion with their offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, coming from the NFL, and Sean McVay. I think it's something that Florida's defense struggles with a little bit as well. So if I'm this offense for Kentucky, I'm motioning as much as I can to challenge the communication and eyes of Florida's defense.
Toss to Chris Rodriguez. And as long as he's holding on to the football, he's about as good as there is so far this season in the SEC, averaging 130.5 yards per game. Picks up 7 there, but he has had fumbleitis so far this season, and turnovers have been the biggest problem for this Kentucky offense.
And talking with Mark Stoops and Liam Cohen, how did they fix it? They emphasize it this week. They do a turnover circuit, really focusing on when you're going down, don't allow the ball to separate from your body. Tuck it, cross cover in traffic.
Rodriguez again, and he moves the chains again. Now last week, even in a win on the road at South Carolina, they turned it over 3 times, but there were 2 other fumbles by Chris Rodriguez that his teammates recovered.
It's shocking that they are -9 in the turnover margin, yet 4-0. And I think that says a little bit about this football team. If you clean up some of those mistakes, we're not careless with the football with our decision-making at quarterback, and we cover it up when we're running, we got a chance to be a really productive offense.
Play action for Levis. He looked deep, and instead he'll tuck it under and run and slide close to another first down. Mahmoud Diabate touched him up after a gain of 7. Well, they have become a more productive offense. The influence, as you said, of Liam Cohen coming from the NFL, they have become more of a pro style and more productive group.
Yeah, and it's really the genesis of this offense is to try to get a defense to look at multiple things pre-snap, then look at multiple things post-snap. And again, stressing eyes, communication, seeing things on the fly. And you've seen an offense that kind of transition to being so run-centric. And one of the reasons why Mark Stoops got Liam Cohen was, I wanted a guy that worked with quarterbacks and receivers, and he's done a lot for this offense so far.
Wide receiver screen. The first time Wan'Dale Robinson's got his hands on the football. And he's a difference maker. Robinson breaking tackles. Let's go. Touchdown. Robinson is a Kentucky kid. Began his career at Nebraska, but transferred back to UK. And with Liam Cohen opening up the offense, difference makers like Wan'Dale Robinson make this offense very dangerous.
We got the motion, right? This is the motion. Force the defense to talk to each other, communicate, make them run sideline to sideline. Look at that defender. He kicks, get the ball out to Wan'Dale Robinson, blocks out on the perimeter, and then absolute juice by the Kentucky native. I love it. Look at this. Watch Robinson. Just step now. Catch. Vision. Block by Cavassier. Smoke. And then this is one of the more electrifying players in all of college football. How many times can we get the ball in number one's hands? Look at the blocks, the big fellas. There's a lot of times as a receiver in this screen game, you just tell them, just get a hand on them, fellas, and I'll do the rest. And Wan'Dale Robinson is one of those guys.
The 7th play this season that Wan'Dale Robinson has had that has gone for 30 or more yards. He was Kentucky Mr. Football, but decided to go to Nebraska. And you know what? This is the kind of offense that's now going to get guys like that to come back.
And they haven't had a guy like that, right? They haven't had a guy like that that's so electric in the pass game, probably since Randall Cobb. And he brings this offense just so much energy. Great story. You mentioned he goes to Nebraska. He comes back, one, because he wanted to be a part of a throwing offense now that Liam Cohen's here. Two, because his mother, he wants to get back closer to home. And Liam Cohen raves about him, that they text message with each other. Hey, these are the plays that I want after watching tape. They watch Rams tape together from the NFL. Just a special player.
Well, you asked about what's between the ears for a player like Wan'Dale Robinson as well.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen said he's the closest thing that I've got here to what I experienced in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I can tell him once, and he gets it, and he'll remember it. And the concept is recall, and he's a difference maker. And he's got this game tied at 7. Here's Naquan Wright starting off this drive for the Gators with a gain of a couple. Last week against South Carolina, Kentucky held the Gamecocks to 216 total yards and 2.2 yards per carry rushing. And his defense overcame the giveaways and got a road win. Emory Jones sidesteps the rush. Mistimed that throw, though, to Jacob Copeland. And now it's 3rd down and 8. Josh Paschal pushed the pocket.
And that push the pocket by Paschal is really the big difference, because it forces Emory to swipe the ball, and there's that missed timing. This is where, you know, Kentucky's not a big pressure defense, but they'll dial it up occasionally. Now, they don't expose their coverage. It's not going to be this crazy and overload side with man coverage, but bring a secondary player, try to get a one-on-one block and win.
Wright empties the backfield on 3rd down and 8. Here comes a jailhouse blitz. And down goes Emory Jones. Flags down on the near side of the field, right at the line of scrimmage.
It looked like the right side of the offensive line jumped.
Before the snap, false start, number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's the right tackle, Gene DeLance. So a little bit of a lean there. I mean, it's loud in here right now, so this offensive line and their ability to hold in and hold their water with that snap count is going to be tested.
So after the penalty, 3rd and 13. Only a 3-man rush. Emory Jones floats one, got hit as he released. Justin Shorter immediately brought down, and Florida will punt.
Watch the bottom of the line of scrimmage right here. Jordan Wright wins off the right tackle. Gets pressure on Emory Jones, shoves him into the left tackle. Richard Garage forces that ball to come out. That's exactly what you want if you're Kentucky. You get the electric play by Wan'Dale Robinson. Defense, go do your part. and they get off the field, and now you got a little momentum as a football team.
Crawshaw with a spiraling kick and a good one. Ali floats all the way back to his own 16-yard line and gets spun down just across the 20. That's a 56-yard punt and only a 6-yard return. So that is a good change of field position for the Gators. Sunday NFL Countdown, the crew hitting the road. They'll be live at Gillette Stadium. Tom Brady's return to Foxborough. They'll have an exclusive interview with Brady before he faces Bill Belichick and the Patriots for the first time. Then week 4 Monday Night Football. It's the Raiders in LA to take on the Chargers. It's a very unexpected good game on Monday night. I'm not sure we would have circled the calendar for that one at the start of the season the way we can now, but I'm excited to watch that one.
Both quarterbacks are MVP candidates.
Chris Rodriguez up the middle. Good gain on first down. Amari Burney brings him down after 5.
We're talking about this Kentucky run game with C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez. I think the offensive line is best when they're working their double teams. Again, Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator, coming from the Sean McVay type of world. It's a zone run game that is built often on double teams, and I think it's a strength for Kentucky. Now, sometimes they catch defenders, but if they can get as many double teams on this Florida defensive line, they can dent the line of scrimmage.
Rodriguez again. He's got a first down. 8 more. And we hear it over and over again, the Sean McVay tree.
Yeah.
And why it seems simple to teach, but yet so effective and confusing to defenses. Why is it such an effective system that produces so many good coaches?
Yeah, one, it's founded upon the line of scrimmage. It's founded upon running the football, and a lot of people think it's about all these throws and pass game. Well, the only reason you get that is because of the commitment to the run. It's also that zone scheme forces everybody to be right on the defense. I don't need everybody to be wrong as an offense. I need one guy to be wrong, and often this scheme takes advantage of it.
Levis, no one downfield, so scrambles ahead. Brought down by Chris Bogle, but picked up 6.5 yards. Well, Liam Cohen spent those 3 very valuable seasons in Los Angeles with the Rams.
Really smart player, understanding, okay, this is where my quarterback is. Excuse me, really smart coach. This is what my quarterback is, the things that he does well and doesn't do well. This is who my offensive line is. Can we be this dynamic, explosive offense in the pass game? No, we don't have those receivers right now across the board. Let's commit to the run game. Let's commit to the perimeter screen game. Let's lean on our tailback, who's a really good player.
Rodriguez right up the middle. Easily picking up a first down to midfield.
Bringing another big fella, another extra offensive lineman, a little motion down, wham play, don't block that nose tackle. You can get up extra bodies up onto the second level. It's a good job in this drive, run game, right? You saw diversity, we've seen zone, we've seen pullers, we've seen that wham. Really nice job by this run game in Kentucky.
That's wide receiver Josh Ali, who is down, and it looks like he is holding his left knee. So while they look at Josh Ali, Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky, Chris Button as well. And, you know, even talking to Coach Stoops this week, there are moments, I think, for a program where you start to say, all right, this was the vision, right? Like atmospheres like this, a sold out crowd, a top 10 team coming in where they absolutely have the belief they can win a game like this. He said that, look, on day 1, I knew we weren't just 6 feet under. We were 30 feet under. We lost by 30 to Vanderbilt my first season. But now he's got a team that believes they belong in games like this.
And he said he truly believes that he thinks they can build it to a top 4 SEC program. And we've really seen this Kentucky program just build and build and build. And I asked him, all right, Coach, what do you have to do to actually win this game? And he said, we just got to play the best version of ourselves. You know, all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams. If we play the best version of Kentucky football, then we have a chance to win this football game, and they believe it.
Cavassier smoke for a yard. He got smoked right at the line of scrimmage.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Well done.
I see what Tyron Hopper did. to Cavassier Smoke. You know, when your name is Cavassier Smoke,
yeah,
it's kind of like mom and dad can take a look at you, go, you know what, kid, we gave you the name.
Yeah,
right. It's
got to do something with it.
It's kind of on you now.
I'm also going to give you.
You're obviously not going to be a podiatrist, right? You're going to go do something like be an SEC running back. That is an SEC running back's name if I've ever heard one.
I'm going to give you $10 if by the end of this game you can tell me who sang the song Pass the Cavassier. Okay, $10.
Tony Bennett. No. Smoke tried to reach back and make a one-handed catch. Levis threw it behind him. So now it will be 3rd down and 9.
And this is the kind of play that Kentucky, coaching-wise, wants Cavassier Smoke to make. Do stuff that forces us to put you on the field more. And Will Levis is trying to just hold him up on that back shoulder a little bit, and you'd love to see him just turn back 2 hands and make that catch. Now, you're not built offensively if you're Kentucky to play on 3rd and 9. I would not be surprised if we saw one of those perimeter screens that are a staple of this offense.
Gators only bring a 3-man rush, and they're ready for the screen. McClain goes nowhere, as that was read by Amari Burney from a mile away.
So beautiful read and react by Amari Burney. They're just trying to get McClain on a little bit of a screen. Burney beats the tackle to the point of attack and gets McClain on the ground. And that's something that Florida was that's Todd Grantham and that staff being ready for the moment. Hey, they love these perimeter screens, specifically in obvious passing downs. It's good discipline by Burney.
Fair catch at about the 12-yard line for Xavier Henderson. Chris.
Yeah, Bob, you guys mentioned Wan'Dale Robinson wanting to come close to home, and a large part of that was that he wanted to be close to his mom, Victoria. She suffers from multiple sclerosis, was diagnosed over when he was at Nebraska, when he was 800 miles away. He said, I wanted to be able to see her. And he says, I noticed a huge difference in her condition, being able to be with her. She's in less pain, she's happier, she's able to come to see me at games, which she wasn't able to do when I was playing so far away.
It's awesome by Wan'Dale Robinson to want to get back and closer to his mother. Thoughts and prayers with that terrible disease. And it's great that she's able to come watch her son play on a consistent basis.
That might be the final play of the opening quarter. And a screen pass out to the edge. First catch for Rick Wells, and spins up the sideline. Let's see where he stepped out. Close to a first down. They'll mark him out after a gain of 8.5.
End of the first quarter.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. A good one under the lights. College football primetime in Lexington. We are tied at 7 after the first. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Tied at 7, start of the second quarter. And Florida with 2nd down and 1 at their own 21-yard line. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Chris Button here in Lexington. Malik Davis, and he has stood up and driven back. And in the middle of that pile was Josiah Hayes, who, Chris, is still in there for Marquand McCall.
Yeah, McCall suffering from a left ankle injury. I was previously told that he was probable, but just been informed that he is now questionable to return.
That's a big miss injury-wise for Kentucky on their defensive line. 99 replaces 50, and now a flag thrown before 3rd down and 1.
False start, number 20, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
This crowd is rocking right now. I mean, they are having an impact on Florida. That's the 2nd false start we've already seen out of this Gators offense. And this 65 to 70,000 plus in Lexington is loud.
3rd down and 6.
And now it kind of takes you potentially out of the run game, right? 3rd and 1, you're leaning on your run game, your strength. Now it looks like Emory Jones is going to have to beat you from the pocket.
Another false start.
starts. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
I've always wondered in these moments why shotgun teams use the clap still. It's really hard for me to hear as an offensive lineman. And you grew up and watching the NFL, it's the leg kick still. The quarterback lifts his leg, and it's a visual thing. Still using the clap, I feel, is so difficult, straining on these offensive linemen.
They keep it on the ground, and Malik Davis lost at least 4 more. Pascal through to make a tackle for loss back at about the 7-yard line.
Pascal is shown up. They're moving him around in the middle of this defensive line. He beats that onside guard and brings Malik Davis down. Watch the quickness. Bang, cross face. Set the guard and then beat him to the point. Now, Pascal's such a sudden, strong, scheme, versatile player. And you can see Dan Mullen, he's talking to their center. Edwin Khan, hey, what's going on with the snap count? And Florida's going to have to get that figured out quickly.
Wan'Dale Robinson, fair catch all the way back to the 35-yard line. Another terrific punt by Crawshaw. 58 yards and forces a fair catch.
We're talking about Will Levis, the Kentucky quarterback. And this guy transfers from Penn State and automatically wins over this football team with his leadership. Becomes a captain. His study habits, they've raved about. You say the great thing about him is he takes blame for everything, and then he heaps praise on everybody else when the team has some success, when the offense has some success.
Play action, quick hitter, and the slant not there.
Kind of one way you do that is you study. So this is Levis pregame. That's the game plan in his hand. He's got all the other quarterbacks with him, and watch, he's really going through the muscle memory of this stuff. And when you do this as a quarterback, your teammates see that, and then they know he's ready. You know, they know that, okay, it matters to him. I trust that guy's going to know exactly what to do with the football, and that's how you come in as a transfer and win over your football team, by your work ethic and your preparation.
Smoke picks up close to 8, so it'll be 3rd down and short. Chris?
Bob, to Dan's point, Levis told me his #1 goal when he came here was to earn being a team captain. He said that's the biggest challenge, is having to learn 100 new names and how these guys tick. That was more challenging for me than trying to learn this playbook.
Well, Mark Stoops told us he has an easy ability to connect without trying, right? He's just very authentic, and that's something that his teammates pick up on. He's not trying to come in and be a manufactured leader. He just naturally is able to associate. Now he's faced with 3rd down and a couple. And off to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez's second effort didn't get there. Jeremiah Moon was able to force him back after a gain of 1. And now Kentucky will have to punt.
That's a nice stop by this Florida defense. What a great job by the defensive line, because Kentucky looked to the line of scrimmage like, hey, we're going to, remember Alabama, LSU a couple years ago, we're going to find our play, and then they try to quick snap them. Moon was ready, scraped over the top, and met Rodriguez in the hole.
Again, Todd Grantham without Ventrell Miller at Mike linebacker, without Jaden Hill, or again, at least tonight, Kyer Elam at corner. So down 3 top-notch starters in a 7-7 tie on the road. Anderson lets this one bounce, and it will take a slow Kentucky roll down to about the 11-yard line. Florida ball deep in their own end when we come back.
What's up? Let's go ahead. Let's go, number 1.
Dude, Tony Bennett? Really?
Dude, Matt, you owe me $10 now.
Damian Pierce. Nope, it's a carry by Anthony Richardson as he heads to the far sideline and is able to pick up about 5.5. Nice misdirection for the Gators. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Chris Bud here at Kroger Field. Florida has dominated this series historically with Kentucky, but It's been adventure after adventure on their last few trips to Lexington. It looks like tonight is going to be just as difficult. There's Dameon Pierce coming the other way. He's got a first down and more. Spins all the way out to the 33-yard line. He picks up 16. Emory Jones had one real good drive and then 3 other drives that fizzled. Wan'Dale Robinson's got a 41-yard tunnel screen touchdown for Kentucky. Anthony Richardson stays in the game at quarterback. Straight quarterback run. Bottled up after a gain of 3.
Bringing in Anthony Richardson is a little bit of a sign to commitment to the quarterback run game. You know, the drive before, Emory gave the ball to a back on a zone read, and he could have ran for 50 yards. Maybe this is Dan Mullen going, okay, I want to make sure Kentucky's honoring the quarterback just a little bit more in our zone read or designed quarterback run game. Anthony Richardson is a must-see moment waiting to happen.
Swing pass to Pierce. And it looks like he has another Gators first down. Is there any coach in college football, any coach in football period, that takes what he has to work with and does more with it and reinvents his offense year to year as necessary than Dan Mullen?
Bill Belichick in the NFL, you know, Dan Mullen, just talking to him is absolute gold. He's one of, if not my favorite coaches to talk to. Coach, how did you do last year? Well, we had these receivers and this quarterback. Well, what about this year? Well, I got these quarterbacks that are really good at this, or this offensive line that can really own the line of scrimmage, these really good backs, and just an awesome job of understanding his offense. And he called his offense the Bible. You know, he said, I'm not going to use all of it necessarily at the same time, just what's needed in the moment. And I love that about Dan Mullen.
Naquan Wright lost a couple, but again, last season to this season, completely flips the script. The #1 passing offense in all of college football last year. This year, the #3 rushing offense. And yet the points just about the same. Back in the top 10. But you mentioned it. Bill Belichick is probably the best example I can think of in the NFL of what's my personnel?
Yes.
How do I need to play?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a completely different thing than we did last year because that will work this year.
And I think the premise for Florida's offense is always physicality.
There goes Richardson to midfield. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
You know, I think that premise is always physicality. He was sharing a story about one of his kids going to the NFL, and you know, he came back and he said, Coach, it's always the same system. And he's like, why won't they adjust? And look at that. I mean, they're running the ball for 190 yards per game, more than they did last year. That's the biggest increase in the last 25 seasons.
Previous play is under review for potential targeting.
Now they're going to take a look on the hit put on Richardson. And I think it was J.J. Weaver that may have gone in and been guilty of targeting. That is a booth-initiated review.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, no matter where you are or how you pregame, we are all Tailgate Nation. Find game day recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com.
Terry Wilson with a touchdown run, touchdown pass. Mark Stoops, the Gatorade bath. And the only Kentucky win in the last 31 meetings against Florida happened back in 2018. This was reviewed for targeting while we were away and was quickly ruled correctly not to be targeting on J.J. Weaver. So on we go. 3rd down and 4 from midfield. Naquan Wright empties the backfield. Back to Emory Jones, a quarterback. He's well protected here. He'll float one up the hash marks. A sliding attempt and a catch by Naquan Wright. They put Wright in the slot. He comes through for 16.
That's a running back making that catch now. I mean, that is incredible by Naquan Wright. They motion him out. They get man coverage. Emory's patient in the pocket. That is such a difficult catch. Look at this. Ball look at his eyes following that football right into his stomach. That's fantastic by Naquan Wright.
And now Carrington Valentine is down. That's arguably the best corner that Kentucky has. Florida, of course, without Kyer Elam tonight, will step aside. Injury timeout. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce. Get the committee's attention. You can go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. It was at least 2 hours before kickoff that Kentucky student section was filling up, and it's time to represent your school by showing us how big you're going tonight. Submit your best fan video to hashtag #ShowYourSaturday, and you might just get your 15 seconds of fan fame. Looked like a cramp for Carrington Valentine, so he's off the field. They were trying to get as much Gatorade into him as possible while we were away. And they were working on his thigh.
Find the new corner. Find the new corner.
That might be what Emory Jones is doing. Jones with a cutback. And is able to pick up 2. J.J. Weaver forced him back inside.
J.J. Weaver's such a good player. You know, coming off of that ACL injury, they're really trying to be conscious, the Kentucky coaching staff and their defensive coordinator, Brad White, of just not overdoing the reps, understanding he's played a lot because of some injuries here in the first month of the season, and making sure that they just ease him back in coming off that injury.
Carrington Valentine back in. Naquan Wright forced down the line of scrimmage by Pascal, and he is brought down. It'll be 3rd down and long. And you know, Dan, something that stuck with me this week when you talked about watching this defense play, that it is such a good assignment, discipline, do your job defense. What was it?
That play right there.
That's it, a good example?
Yeah, I mean, he locks out on the blocker. He has his eyes in the right place. I'm in my gap. My secondary gap is outside. I shed the blocker and go to the football. I mean, it's just the discipline to do that is displayed by this defense constantly.
4-man rush on 3rd and 10. Emory Jones, he may be able to run for it. Tucks it under. Spins. Just short. Will Dan Mullen go for it on 4th down and about 1.5 yards just outside the 25-yard line? Another tackle for J.J. Weaver.
It's a great play by Weaver. I think Dan Mullen should kick this field goal. I mean, this is a good drive. You should get points.
Well, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds closer to the 28-yard line. That makes it 4th down and 4. That's a different decision.
Yeah, I think you try to get your points here, take the 10-7 lead and force Kentucky to see if they can match your score.
So Jace Christman, inconsistent to say the least from this range. 46. Flags down. Did the play clock wind all the way down? I think it did.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, now 46 becomes 51.
I really think it's because you can see Dan Mullen. Desmond Watson is late coming onto the field. And that's how this clock, they're waiting on him. That clock runs down. I wish the Detroit Lions fans probably wish they had the same game app operator in last Sunday's game.
Well, this would match his career long from a couple of years ago if he can knock it through to give the Gators the lead. Does it have the distance? It does. It is good. As Christman equals his career long with a 51-yarder, and Florida is back on top.
It's a great drive by this offense for the Gators, even with the penalty.
Next Saturday, it's the 117th edition of the Red River Rivalry. Oklahoma, Texas at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Our coverage kicks off at noon Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. 51-yard field goal by Jace Christman has put the Gators back on top. Flag down on the kickoff. Zach Johnson will run it out from the goal line, but a flag was thrown back where the ball was kicked from, so have to imagine the Gators were offsides, just a shade ahead of Christman's kick.
Offside, number 27 kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and re-kick.
The return only came out to the 16-yard line, so
this always becomes one of those moments, those guys that just ran down there on kickoff and did that 50-60-yard sprint. Look, you can see there's actually a change. They're changing some bodies out on the kickoff team, Florida-wise. That's a 50 or 60-yard sprint full speed. You don't want to have them do it again, be tired, get out of a coverage lane, and allow Kentucky to go pop one.
Another chance for Zach Johnson from the 2. Out of bounds at the 26.
Well, Florida leads 10-7. It's 2 good drives by Emory Jones, and he's in control. You get the motion, Shorter comes in. It's going to be 1, 2 to 3. Low to high on the right side. Emory takes his eyes there. It's not there. Now bring it back. Let Whitterer work the middle of the field. Whitmore, great job placing that ball over the linebacker. Safety from the bottom of the screen comes. Got one-on-one on the go route to Richardson. Henderson, corner plays on the top. Take a little bit of touch on that ball. Throw that back shoulder. So Emory Jones in control again for the 3rd straight week operating this Gators offense.
And off to Chris Rodriguez to start this drive for Kentucky. Stood up after a gain of 1, maybe 2. Mahmoud Diabate, Brenton Cox, both in on the tackle.
This Florida defense is doing 2 really good things. They're not allowing the play action pass shots over the top of their heads. And then they're making sure that Will Levis has got to go through his progressions. They're not giving that easy completion on number 1. We've seen Levis use his legs twice in crucial situations. The discipline by Florida showing up on defense so far.
To Wan'Dale Robinson. The second time he's been targeted. The first time was a 41-yard touchdown. And this one's good for 14.
This is just a kick out to Wan'Dale Robinson. Little bubble from the outside. Look at the separation between him and him. Just that dead leg is so sudden. You know, it's really forcing one of Kentucky's goals has got to be to force Florida to run sideline to sideline to help their run game go at them. And the more times that you can really make the ball carrier, essentially Wan'Dale Robinson on the outside, the better things for your offense.
Avery Helm and the true freshman Jason Marshall, the 2 corners for the Gators, as Rodriguez pushes the pile for 2.5. Again, Kyer Elam with the knee injury a couple of weeks ago against Alabama. He was out of the Tennessee game last week. It was thought he would be able to come back for this game, but just didn't practice enough, and as a result sitting it out tonight. And we have Luke Fortner, the center, down on 1 knee for Kentucky. So let's go back to Matt.
All right, guys, coming up at the Mercedes EQ halftime report. Alabama, no problem with Ole Miss. Same with Georgia against Arkansas. Just absolute dominance in the SEC today. Plus, Cincinnati now has made a statement for the group of 5 with their win at Notre Dame. Jesse Palmer and Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Mercedes EQ halftime reports.
Yeah, those dominant wins today by Alabama and Georgia over Ole Miss and Arkansas. Ole Miss ranked 12th, right? Arkansas top 10 team. When you look at now how the SEC maps out, Alabama and Georgia that good, Or is that SEC respect where those teams maybe a bit of pretenders compared to Alabama and Georgia, and that was why they were ranked as high as they were?
I think Arkansas and Ole Miss are good football teams. I think Alabama and Georgia are that dominant.
You think they're that good?
Their lines of scrimmage are so good. Their skill players are so good. Both quarterbacks are playing good football. Yeah, Georgia's defense is world class. World class. I think they're both very good football teams.
So the junior Quentin Wilson is now in place of Luke Fortner, the backup center, set to snap it to Will Levis. Toss to Rodriguez. And he picks up 4. Zach Carter, Rashad Torrance were both there for the Gators. So here's a 3rd down for Kentucky with 3:15 to go in the first half.
Kentucky has not had a good first half on 3rd down right now, and this is where 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you're anticipating, okay, Florida's likely going to give us man coverage, and this is where you want to get a guy that can win one-on-one, or you get these bunches and condensed splits and trying to get guys running away with picks and rubs against the defense.
Wan'Dale Robinson in motion. Levis. Double clutches. Now the pocket collapses and down he goes. Zach Carter. Number 1 in the SEC in sacks, adds to his total. A loss of 6 and a Kentucky punt.
This is good protection. You would love to see Levis just move quicker. Carter continuing to fight against Rosenthal. And kind of squeezes or condenses that pocket. But those are those moments, you know, Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for Kentucky, you love when Levis comes to the sideline. Hey, you're a big-time athlete. If it's not there, you see man coverage, and there's a little bit of seam. You know, play a little aggressive, instinctual. Put your foot in the ground and see if you can go get it for us.
End over end kick for Goodfellow, and Henderson's going to let it bounce, and it spins back to the 13-yard line. The ball was touched by Kentucky, so the Gators can jump in there if they want. They can't lose possession. It's already been illegally touched by Kentucky. And that creates a scrum. As we take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by AT&T 5G. Well, Arkansas and Notre Dame, as they both go down in the top 10. Dominant performance by Georgia. Equally dominant performance by Alabama. And Oregon right now at Stanford. That's a tight one, as you would expect.
Yeah, so you're looking at a Florida team that sits at 10 right now, and depending on what happens out west, you know, if they win tonight, they're going to get all the way into that top 7 ranking likely. And then that conversation continues to move forward to that game in 3 weeks against Georgia. That's going to mean a whole heck of a lot. Man, it's a big drive for this Kentucky defense. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Got a great half. You really want to try and force Florida off the field with no points. And if you're Florida, you're like, man, if we can get points here before the half, you feel great about your performance.
Screen. Justin Shorter. He only picks up a couple.
And that's another example, that play right there, of the discipline by Kentucky's defense. Everybody's playing with the proper leverage. Shorter gets the screen, and they force it back inside where all their buddies are coming, running to the football. Corker doing a great job. Mosley doing a great job of just playing with that proper leverage.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts. Emory Jones off his back foot. Right at the first down line to gain to Whittemore. That is good for a Gators first down.
Man, that's a nice play by Emory Jones. Whittemore is really stepping up, the sophomore from Gainesville. He's stepping up as kind of a go-to receiver for Emory Jones. You know, that comfort level of a guy that can work the middle of the field, and great feel for where the defense is and sitting in zones, running away, and man, a beautiful fadeaway throw by Emory.
Clock rolling. minute to go in the first half. Florida taking a lot of time after picking up that first down. And they will run it with Malik Davis. Let's see if Dan Mullen spends a timeout, or if this deep in his own end with that much time having come off the clock, if he's okay just taking a lead to the locker room.
I'm shocked. You know, after that completion of Whittemore, you know, with this offensive line, I'm shocked that he is not using timeouts and trying to go get some points, especially after that made kick by Crispin the drive before. Never know what, I mean, this is a big-time close ball game. I think you're risking leaving points on the field.
And Kentucky starts the third quarter with the ball. So Malik Davis picks up another first down, but now we're down to 15 seconds, 16 seconds to go in the half.
And again, I mentioned this when we did the USF game 3 weeks ago. How many live 2-minute drill situations has Emory Jones really been in this young career? And this was another opportunity, not only to get him really important reps for the future, but also you had a minute on the clock with 3 timeouts. You're looking at one chunk throw and you can go into scoring range. I'm shocked that Dan Mullen wasn't aggressive there.
Halftime. As Dan Mullen is happy to just hold on to the lead. It'll be Kentucky ball when we come back to start the third quarter. 10-7, our score at the break. We'll send you to the studio. Matt Barry, Joey Galloway, Jesse Palmer, standing by with the Mercedes EQ halftime report. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. A low-scoring first half, and it's going to be Kentucky's football down by 3. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Chris Budden is with us as well. We talked about something had to give. Florida running the football. Kentucky's defense really stout stopping the run. What impressed you the most in the first half?
Yeah, they've showed up defensively, Kentucky. I think the movement from their defensive line has been great. Now, Florida ran the ball for 85 yards, but 20 carries. You know, so you'll take that if you're Kentucky defensively. So that's going to be a big story for the second half is can they keep that going? And then Kentucky offensively is one big play, really. Wan'Dale Robinson on that perimeter screen. And so how many different times can they kind of get him the ball? Because they're going to have to generate some points. And then I still am very much surprised by the way that Dan Mullen ended that first half and just seeing if that becomes something where, you know, they're going to need those 3 points at the end of this second half.
Emory Jones, 10 of 11 for 105 yards in the first half. So he was also very effective, but the Gators 1 for 5 on third down. Kentucky 0 for 4 on third down. So
yeah,
it has been a defensive battle, and it will start at the 25-yard line here in the third quarter for UK. As we check our first half stats, brought to you by PlayStation. Neither team has cracked 200 yards yet. You can see both have struggled on third down.
Yeah, I think for Florida, how many different ways can they continue to commit to their run game? Kentucky offensively getting the ball to the perimeter is going to be a big deal. And then Kentucky is going to, at some point, have to hit one of those play-action shots downfield. Neither team is throwing the ball well on third down. Neither team is protecting well on third down. They're going to have to see who can win first and second down the most.
Certainly a victory for Kentucky to play a clean first half, no turnovers. That has been their bugaboo. Here goes Chris Rodriguez starting off the second half with a chunk run. He picks up 16. Chris Budden, you spoke with the coaches?
Yeah, this is exactly what Mark Stoops was telling me he wanted. He said, first down, we have to be able to pick up some yards out of the run game. We're not very good when we get behind the chain, so it makes it difficult play calling if they can't get some chunks on that first down. For Dan Mullen, he said, I like the way we're playing. The biggest thing is we're shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. One other injury, no. Marquand McCall out with an injury for the rest of the game. Left ankle.
That's a tough one for that defensive front for Kentucky to fight through. As Levis to throw. Out to the perimeter. And that is good for another Kentucky first down. As he finds Brendan Bates for 11.
Watch this throw by Levis. Just that flick of the wrist, kind of that drop that elbow out to Bates as he's taking that hit. There's some of that physical talent that you see. Nice job of getting that ball out. So you come out, run the ball on first down. Great. Then you get spread out, empty formation, early completion.
Rodriguez met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. Well, Matt Barry, another shakeup in the top 10. So 3 teams of the top 10 lose today. You knew it was going to come. You had some top 10 matchups between teams like Cincinnati and Notre Dame, and of course Arkansas and Georgia. All day to throw for Levis. Unloads. Contact inside the 5-yard line. No flag out.
This is just missed. I think they got holding early on Wan'Dale. Watch. Right as he goes into this break right here. That tug right there should get called. That should be 100% pass interference. And what they're going to say is that ball's not intended to him or catchable. And that's probably accurate, but I think they missed the flag early on in that play with the tug by Marshall.
3rd down and 9. Levis, well protected again. Incomplete. Low throw for DeMarcus Harris. Zach Carter hit Levis as he took a couple of heavy hits. One from Carter and one from Brenton Cox on that series of downs, as Kentucky's now 0 for 5 on 3rd down. This punt gets inside the 5-yard line. And it looks like it was saved back to about the 2. What a play on special teams. Was that Zach Johnson? It was. And did the official just signal that that will be a touchback? Does this ball break the plane? That's a good call.
That makes it a touchback.
Crowd again doesn't like it, but you can see that ball broke the plane, and that is a completely different rule. College football to pro football.
Yeah.
In college football, it's where the ball is. In pro football, it's where the player is. So if that ball breaks the plane, even if a player's laying in the end zone, the only thing they're looking at is, does the football break the plane the same way you would judge a touchdown or not?
Yeah, great shot by the pylon, Kim, as well. I mean, that's clear that it happens. Mark Stoops, I don't think he's upset about that. I still think he's upset by that missed holding pass interference call on 2nd down.
So that gives Florida the ball at their own 20-yard line. Here's Justin Shorter, and he's got a 1st down.
Talking about that 2nd down play action shot. Again, watch. That's the correct ruling on that punt.
It is. And pylon cam gives you a perfect look down the goal line of the ball breaking the plane. Emory Jones. Little comeback for another 1st down to Jacob Copeland.
You know, one of the things watching tape on Emory over the past couple weeks that stood out were his eyes were going to the right place. And that completion at Copeland is kind of the perfect example. Emory stares down the field knowing he's going to go back to his right. The corner takes the shallow route, swing on the back, and there's that vacancy in that zone coverage by Kentucky. But it's all because Emory's eyes were right.
Blitz picked up. Emory Jones, back shoulder throw down the sideline. It's a 50-50 ball, and there's the flag. Carrington Valentine tied up with Copeland, and it looks like Valentine will be called for pass interference.
Pass interference, number 14 defense. 50-yard penalty on the spot. 1st down.
Little double move by Copeland, peeks back. You just cannot throw that flag, in my opinion. They both have each other's arms. If you, as an official, are not going to throw the flag on the previous play for Kentucky, there's absolutely no way you can throw that flag on their defense. You just can't. Call it even on both sides.
I think that might have been the case Mark Stoops was making to the official.
And that's what as a football fan, that frustrates me. You can't call that and not call the one for Kentucky's offense.
Malik Davis picks up 5. Jacquez Jones was there for Kentucky.
This is when you want some veteran leadership on your defense, though. You don't get the call that you feel Kentucky-wise that you should have on offense, and then you get that call against your defense. This is where really composure is going to show up. Look at how Florida takes these receivers and spreads them basically outside the numbers. Forces you to play 53 and a third sideline to sideline and really minimize the people you can have down near the football.
Sets up quarterback run for Jones. But those 5 players in the tackle box, boy, they do a good job over and over again of being disciplined and limiting Emory Jones to only 2. That time DeAndre Square along with Oxendine there to make the stop. 3rd down and 3.
We've seen 5-man pressure from Kentucky in these situations and man coverage. They can't get set up.
Although it may have been a false start. Dan Mullen and his sideline are livid at their own players for jumping early because they know they had Kentucky in a bad spot defensively and missed the chance.
False start. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
There's got to be something. You're going to see it trips up to the top of the screen. Florida's got him uncovered. Kentucky's scrambling, not ready. And you can see there's that clap again. In frustration by Emory Jones. But I think they're struggling to hear that clap up front. And that's in these environments that get crazy loud. I think those are challenging for the offensive line. We've seen soft coverage on these 3rd and long from Kentucky. Get the ball out of the hands and rally to the football.
Four-man rush. Slant. Broken up through the hands of Malik Davis. Tyrell Agent was there on the hit. 4th down and 8.
It's a great job. He's going to try to throw the underneath slant. Watch Agent break on the ball, point of contact, and separate Malik Davis from that underneath shallow slant route. Good job in man coverage of playing deep and then driving on the football versus your guy. That's a good stop by Kentucky's defense. Now Florida flips the field a little bit, so that's good. Good stop by Kentucky's defense.
Robinson waves his teammates away from the short punt by Crawshaw, and it takes a Kentucky bounce out to about the 23-yard line. Only at 12. We were away for close to 3 minutes. For the entirety of the 3 minutes we were away, this was going on the Kentucky sideline.
You don't think this guy wants to win? He has been in their ears. He's talking about, again, that 2nd down bomb to Wan'Dale Robinson, saying they pulled up the whole way, and he is letting these officials hear it. And honestly, I agree with him. I completely agree that you can't throw one and not the other.
Screen pass. Robinson brought down immediately. Jason Marshall came up to make the stop, a loss of 2. And what we showed you was 10% of the argument, and really I think, unloading of Mark Stoops on the officials. And in a way, I credit the officials. They let him say his piece.
Sure.
No unsportsmanlike conduct flag. They didn't come back at him. They basically just let him vent. And you wonder if there's a call that happens later in this game that he may have just politicked for himself. And as it's now 2nd down and 12, Kentucky at their 20-yard line. Levis rolls out. Over the middle, he misses Rigg. And Rigg may have dropped that ball more than anything. Now it's 3rd down and 12. And the Wildcats are 0 for 5 on 3rd down.
That's when you want to hit as an offense. Just you're there. You've got that keeper. The touchdown pass was the big play to Robinson, and then struggling to get some consistent success offensively. And now you're in that 3rd and 10. We saw it earlier in the game, the perimeter screen. I think this is something where Will Levis is going to have to go through a progression, trust his protection, and if he sees a seam, use that athleticism to go see if he can get a 1st down running.
And they protect him. Only a 3-man rush. High throw, intercepted. Picked off by Trevin Johnson. Flag down. Back near the line of scrimmage, but it was thrown, I believe, during the return. Levis airmailed that throw, and there is the first turnover of the game. That has bit Kentucky all season long, and it puts the Gators in the red zone. We'll have to check the penalty.
Such a good job in zone coverage by Florida's defense.
After the interception, personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 55 of the intercepting team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st and 10.
That's Antonio Valentino, who's also a grad transfer from Penn State. Will Levis' old Penn State teammate.
Watch those guys in the line of scrimmage. They're going to drop out Moon, Bernie. Look at the depth that they have, and then the length from Moon really forces that high throw by Will Levis. And then Trevin Johnson just sitting back there as a safety as he spun back. Watch the depth. That forces a little bit of that high throw, trying to force it on that 3rd and 12 completion, and Trevin Johnson just hanging there. And that's one of those Florida staples. Look, he's trying to throw that ball over a 6'6", 250-pound defender. You know, when you're throwing against zones, it's not only the horizontal stretch of guys, it's how deep are they, and do they impact your ability to try to throw up over them, and Trevin Johnson sitting right there for it.
And off to Dameon Pierce. As now starting this drive in plus territory, Dan Mullen goes back to Anthony Richardson at quarterback.
It's one of those sudden changes, right? As a defense, you're sitting on the bench, you just came off the field, quick interception by your offense. How quickly can you calibrate?
Richardson, nowhere to go. Sound at the line of scrimmage again is Kentucky.
Just watch the push in the middle of the defensive line. Push, and then everybody run down the line of scrimmage. That's really what happens there by that Kentucky front, finished by Oxendine.
Well, this Kentucky defense has been dealing with just this all season long.
Yeah.
Their offense has been a turnover machine. They have dealt constantly with sudden change and done very well. 3rd down and 8. Blitz, they were in the neutral zone. It should be a free play for the Gators. Richardson rips a throw, but it looked like Yusuf Corker was trying to time up a slot blitz, and he was offsides.
Offside, number 29 defense jumped in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
Yeah, Corker's just trying to come on that safety pressure and to perfectly time that snap, and he just anticipates that ball is going to come just a click sooner. And that's a big 5 yards now, because now it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and I think this becomes potential 4-down territory for this Florida offense, and you can utilize your run game with Anthony Richardson as a potential threat.
We'll give it to Pierce. Pierce with a flag down, breaking tackles. We'll have to check the marker at the line of scrimmage. He's down to the 14-yard line.
They might get Stuart Reese with a hold.
Holding, number 65, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
So it's actually the center, Kingsley Eguakon.
Let's watch Eguakon here. He's trying to reach that tackle, reach that tackle, reach that tackle. Golly, that does not look like a hold to me.
How about this spot for Emory Jones? Richardson out, Emory Jones back in, and he's handed 3rd and 13.
In this situation so far today, he has seen a 5-man pressure and man coverage. So it's all about finding the matchup that you love.
A 4-man rush. He'll run with it and get dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe picking up 2 or 3 as Pascal is there to make the stop. now to try to take a 6-point lead, Dan Mullen will try another field goal.
Gosh, Josh Paschal can play, man. I mean, his ability to be relentless without making mistakes and track down ball. I mean, this is Emory Jones. He could run now. Watch Paschal. This is playing with your eyes up. Watch. His eyes never leave where the ball is. And look at the effort. Sheds off 2 blockers. I mean, he's just had a spectacular night of playing with effort and discipline and technique.
Christman from 48. It's blocked. Kentucky makes a play on special teams. Now they're ripping off a return. 78 yards. Touchdown. Mark Gray on the return.
The extra point is blocked.
They missed the extra point, so it's still only a field goal lead. It was Paschal again that got through to block the field goal.
Just the ability to get through and the speed with the blockers. All set up by Paschal, the suddenness, the burst. Watch 4 on the right side of your screen. Split them, get skinny, get your hands up with that left big paw. And I love that the kick return team or the kick team and Wallace is ready to go catch that block and go run away. You know, it's not only the fact that they block it, but then everybody's ready for the moment. Big time points.
Trevin Wallace with the touchdown return.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, no matter where you are or how you pregame, we are all Tailgate Nation. Find game day recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com.
Kerwin Bell sacked. Mark Anthony Logan gets a ride on the shoulders of his teammates. November 15th, 1986, the last home win for Kentucky against Florida. And now Kentucky's got a 3-point lead, a touchdown on special teams here in the 3rd quarter. Again, College Football Saturday. It rolls on. One more big SEC matchup here on ESPN and the app coming up next. We'll head to Death Valley, Auburn, LSU. That is as soon as we wrap things up here in Lexington. So now, how do the Gators respond? On the road, down by 3. Emory Jones, straight quarterback run. Picks up 5. Chris.
Bob, this Kentucky sideline has been angry since the start of the second half, and like everything was going against them. From the penalties, Will Levis was angry at the interception. That play just completely changed that team. I saw Levis smile for the first time. It's like they finally felt a break went their way.
Well, that break was made by Josh Paschal. Sometimes you make your own breaks, and he has been an impact player. This play blown dead before it gets started. Flag down on the near side of the field.
Ball start. D1 offense. Hot penalty.
That's 5.
5 false starts, part of 10 overall Florida penalties.
I didn't know Lexington got down like this. I thought it was only Rupp Arena.
Every ticket for this game was gone all the way back at the end of last weekend. 2nd and 10. Emory Jones checks it down to right. He'll get across the 30-yard line. He'll pick up 5. Back to Matt.
Bob, as you alluded to earlier, top 10, a dangerous place to be today. Iowa already in the barn with the win. Can Penn State also get in the win to set up their super matchup next week? Sean Clifford and the Nittany Lions strike first, up 7-0 on Indiana.
All right, Matt. Well, Florida tried to play with tempo, and they were trying to trap Kentucky substituting, so the Wildcats called a timeout from their sideline. Next Saturday, we'll have the 117th edition of the Red River Showdown game between number 6 Oklahoma and Texas in Dallas. Our coverage kicks off at noon Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. 3rd down and 5 for the Gators after the timeout. 4-man rush again. Another swing pass out to the flat right. Steps out of bounds right at the 1st down line to gain, and it looks like he's got it.
This is fantastic by Emory Jones now. 3rd and 6. He got backside. I want to throw that hitch route. Nope, the defender drops underneath it. Throw it out there to right and let him to go get it. The discipline of running the play and not allowing it to impact your decision. 3rd and 6, I want to force that curl. It's not there. Throw the check down and let him go get it.
Play clock down to 7. Plenty of time for Emory Jones. Daquan Wright. That's 5 more yards on 1st down.
I'm surprised that Emory hasn't leaned into pulling some of those a little bit more. I mean, those backside defenders for Kentucky are flown so quickly when that guard pulls. And when you get that open edge, there's that chance when everyone flows and that 2nd level goes, you can take it yourself for a big chunk.
Gives it again. Only a yard for Daquan Wright. So once again, it will be 3rd down for Florida. DeAndre Square helped force it back to Jordan Wright for the tackle. Gators trying to play with tempo.
If you're Kentucky defensively here, your eyes are on Emory Jones. He loves to scramble in these situations, and then you're getting man-to-man coverage. As Valentine runs over, this feels like a Whittemore moment where he just wins against man coverage.
There's the slant. Whittemore the intended target, and it's knocked out of his hands. Tyrell Agent helped knock it away.
Right side of the screen, they're just trying to get that slant from that slot receiver, and Agent just gets that right hand in there and rips it out. Watch that right hand just get right on top of the football with Whittemore extended there. And there's that pass breakup, and that's that moment. That's the reason why you like to play man and roll the dice a little bit in those situations. Tighter coverage, make a play on the ball.
Crawshaw with a wobbly kick to the sideline, but it takes a terrific Florida bounce and goes out of bounds at the 18 of Kentucky. We talked about impact players. Josh Paschal has been a definition of an impact player.
Been the best player on the field in the run game, splitting defenders and getting off the field. How about this? Force Emory up in the pocket, eyes on him. Let me go track him down, but this is the play. I mean, get skinny, get that left hand up, and block that field goal to Trevin Wallace that turns into a return for a touchdown. Paschal, who leads the SEC in tackles for loss, 2.5 more tonight, block field. He has been the best player on the football field this evening.
Screen pass. Robinson. Stutter step to the edge for a 1st down. And a little extra out of bounds. There's the flag. It'll be 15 more as Elijah Blades pushed him down after he was out.
After the runner was out of bounds, personal foul, late hit, number 19, defense.
It's one of those plays, you're just kicking it out to Wan'Dale Robinson, part of your run game. Let him go win one-on-one, and then Blades, I mean, he's 3 yards out of bounds. That's the proper call. And that's a big play for this offense. You know, you get him out there by himself. Blades has got to play because of Kaiir Elam not being there. And just allow him to go win one-on-one. We call it a smoke route. One step, I'm throwing out to you. If it's one-on-one, you got to go make a play.
It's 28 yards, all in with the penalty. Rodriguez across the 50, carrying tacklers. Very close to a Kentucky first down. Diabate went for a piggyback ride, brought him down about a half-yard shy of the line to gain.
Watch this left side open up a giant hole. It's a beautiful job by Horsey on the down block, and then Rodriguez. If I'm Kentucky right now, I'm going to show my identity. I'm going to run the football. I'm going to pound the rock and say, this is who we are, and challenge Florida to stop you.
Toss to Rodriguez. And just enough for a first down.
You know, sometimes as a play caller, you can get a little cute in these moments. And you got to be really perfect with your timing when you're going to call your shot. But I think this is for Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator. This is a moment where you go, okay, we are a run-centric team. We got a really good offensive line and good backs. We're going to pound the football right at Florida.
Now it's Smoke. He burrows his way inside the 40 for 3. Trevon Dexter threw him down.
You know, this offensive line with Rosenthal and Horsey, Fortner, Cox, Kennard, the right tackle. It's a good group. That mentioned early in the game, those double teams are such a big impact for them. Rodriguez has got such good vision. And if you continue to pound the football and use those motions, not only can you get those 4 or 5-yard runs, but you can create those 12-yard chunks if you get a defender displaced.
Levis with a pump fake. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Newkirk and dropped back near midfield for a sack. A loss of 8, a sack for Daquan Newkirk.
Newkirk right kind of over that left tackle right there. It's a double move, so they got to hold it a little bit longer. Smoke's actually trying to go cut him. They go full slide protection, so you're sliding your offensive line, and then you're asking Cavassier Smoke, the 200-pounder, to block Newkirk, who's 310 pounds. That's not fair, and that's why I really wanted to just see commitment to the run game. You'll be smart if you're Will Levis with the football here.
Only a 3-man rush. Levis out of the pocket. He's going to tuck it under and run. Hurdles a man and close to a first down, about 2 yards shy. Well, now it's 4th down and manageable. He went right over the top of Jadarius Perkins and picked up 12. Crowd urging Mark Stoops to leave his offense out there and go for it. They will have the break as we head towards the 4th quarter to think about it.
Yeah, smart. Nothing's there. Get your Anthony Richardson on, Will Levis. That's big time.
4th and 2 with a 3-point lead for Kentucky to open up the 4th quarter when we come back. We start the 4th quarter, Matt, here. College football prime time in Lexington with a huge play. Kentucky has a 3-point lead, and they're faced with 4th and 2 inside the Florida 35, and they line up to go for it. Wildcat snap to Rodriguez. He goes up the middle, and he gets stuffed and driven back by the Gator defensive front. Trey Dean right in the middle of the pileup. The Gators not at all fooled by the Wildcat formation, and they get a takeaway on downs to start the 4th quarter.
What a job by the Florida defensive line. Watch him get off tackles. Watch him get off blocks. And then Jeremiah Moon, there he is again. 7, bop. As Cox Jr. comes and wraps the ankle of Rodriguez. Jeremiah Moon, who switches to linebacker inside this year, gets away from that block. That's a big-time play by Jeremiah Moon.
Dexter was there, Amari Burney. That was a team effort. And now pretty good field position at the 35-yard line after the stop on downs. Wide open is Xavier Henderson. Flag down. Back at the line of scrimmage. And the left tackle, Richard Garage, is also down and hurt. So it looks like we have a problem with our referee microphone, but holding against the Gators, and their left tackle's injured.
I think they called it on Ethan White, the left guard. Watch the left guard, 77, Ethan White working against Oxendine. Yup.
So while they take a look at Richard Garage, let's take a look at today's fighting spirit moment, brought to you by Modelo.
It's an awesome job to Wan'Dale Robinson on the perimeter screen. You get that young man out in space with his vertical speed, and he's absolutely electric. Then Pascal splits that blocking formation with the field goal, tips it up to Wallace. Everybody's ready for the return. Two big plays have given the Wildcats this 13-10 lead at home with 14:49 to play.
And now Michael Tarquin takes over for Garage at left tackle for the Gators. First down and 20 after the holding penalty.
This is a formation with these receivers spread so far out. Kentucky has to ask themselves defensively, how many numbers are we going to keep near the ball? They've only got 5, and we've seen the quarterback run for the Gators out of this formation so far tonight. I feel like you can throw the ball down to the perimeter for an easy completion.
Instead, it's Malik Davis. Cuts it back. Picks up about 6. Another tackle for Pascal.
If you're Kentucky, you're going to say 2nd and 14. We're going to continue to play that shell, soft defense, zone defenders with eyes on, and rally to the football.
How hard is it to communicate if you're Emory Jones?
It's tough. You got to be very, very clear with what you're saying.
There's a 4-man rush. He's going to fire one up the seam. That's intercepted. Picked up by J.J. Weaver. Did he lose the football on the way down? I think he did. There's a scramble for him. Who's got it? Kentucky still has the ball. Tyrell Agent comes away with the loose ball after it was picked by Weaver.
Weaver's just being underneath defender. This is J.J. Weaver, 13. The slot receiver's just going to run a seam route. Now watch Weaver. He's just going to trail underneath. Vision on the quarterback. Trail. That ball's underthrown. He breaks on it. And then interception. There's that zone coverage. Safety in the middle of the field. Emory forces the football, trying to fit it in between defenders. And Weaver does just a great job of carrying that seam vertical. Watch it. Now, when you throw that seam, if you're Emory Jones, that ball's got to go 1, 2, 3, out on time. If you're going to throw that seam with that guy carrying, it's got to be out on time. If not, that's when that ball has to go to the perimeter. If that underneath defender leaves, you should have a hitch, something outside underneath where he's supposed to be there, and he vacated it. That's a great job by Weaver with his eyes on the quarterback.
So what can Kentucky do with the short field after the takeaway? 2 tight ends. Play action. Levis, he's going to take a shot looking for Robinson. At the front right pylon. He is knocked down, no flag out. Jason Marshall, the true freshman, there in coverage.
They motion Wan'Dale out, and they're just trying to take a go shot here. Condensed split, give him room to go run. Marshall going toe-to-toe with them. Hand fighting. I like the no call. I think this is a good no call. Robinson and Marshall are just arm locking, hand fighting downfield. I like that no call. Now, I don't like the fact that they throw those two before in the game, or don't throw one and then throw the other. But in that play, I think that's a good no flag thrown.
Yeah, I agree. Really hard to play corner if you can't at least do that if you're Jason Marshall. Rodriguez at the middle. Ankle tackle. He picks up close to 9. Trey Dean made the stop. Now it's 3rd down and about 2.
You know, that last 4th and 2 that Kentucky had, they tried to go wildcat, and the play is there. They just don't get on their blocks. That's not who they are notoriously. I still think this is a run up the middle. Trust those double teams and let Rodriguez have vision off a cut.
Aaron snap. Levis picks it up and just moves the pile straight forward and gets a push. He's got the 1st down and more. A broken play to a 3rd down conversion. And the first trip into the red zone tonight for Kentucky.
And taught as a quarterback, don't make a bad play worse. This is a great job by Levis of just fielding that snap and following that pulling guard, Horsey. And you can feel the energy from Kentucky right now. You can feel them starting to believe that they can pull this off.
That was their first 3rd down conversion of the game.
Yeah.
And it was a broken play
First
to do
third
it.
of the game.
They are now 1 for 7 and their first trip into the red zone.
I'm going to say it again, Bob. You lean on your run game here, man. That's who you are. You got to be confident in it. Get set, clock running down.
A timeout might have been called from the sideline by Mark Stoops. I think he sensed it was going to be illegal motion.
Exactly.
2 men shifting at once, and they both needed to come set. That's the 2nd timeout for Kentucky.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway and in part by Peloton. Get the original bike at the best price ever.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Subway. 12:17 to go, 4th quarter. Red zone opportunity for Kentucky, trying to build their lead. Levis in the shotgun. Hands to Rodriguez. And again, just a pile-up that pushes him forward inside the 10-yard line for 5.
Doesn't Rodriguez as a back just come across as a pile mover? Just one of these, 5'11", 225-pound backs that is always going to be falling forward. And when that pile goes together, his legs just keep churning and churning, and he's always trying to get that extra yard in that carry. I stay committed to my run game if I'm Kentucky here. I still believe that our offensive line is winning the line of scrimmage.
Rodriguez. Ruffalo's point after is good. 2-score lead for Kentucky. 11.5 to go. Points off turnovers. They stuck with the run game after they got the pick in, and it worked.
It's a beautiful play by Weaver on that seam. Vision on the quarterback, and then Rodriguez finishes it. The offensive line.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. How long this game lasts is now going to be up to the Kentucky defense, as they have not beaten Florida here in Lexington since 1986. But they've got a 2-score lead with 11:32 to go. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden. Electric atmosphere here at Kentucky. How about the touchdown?
Well, it took advantage of movement by the Florida defensive line. Jeremiah Moon on the end of the line of scrimmage. He's going to slant inside. Now Dexter, the guy over the center, he's got to replace him. Slant outside and get down the line of scrimmage. They hand it off to Rodriguez. He's got vision. Kennard kicks him off. And there's that walk-in touchdown by the Wildcat offense. They catch Florida at the perfect moment with that slant stunt by that defensive line. It's an awesome job by Kennard washing him down. And it's really good eye vision by C-Rod for the Wildcat offense. Just perfectly executed catching Florida in that stunt.
Emory Jones swings one to Pierce. Maybe a yard. Chris?
Dan, one thing you notice about watching Emory Jones, his demeanor does not change the entire game. Even after that interception, he's very much a just go out, do your job, not a rah-rah guy. So he did not huddle his team. He just put that set on, went back out there.
Four-man rush. Jones shot to the sideline to Copeland. Well, Emory Jones waited 1,335 days from being recruited and arriving in Florida to finally getting a chance to start. So he's been in training for this moment for a long time.
And this is when he's at his best, though, playing that kind of disciplined style. You know, not necessarily forcing the ball. We've seen him be so good with his decision-making tonight, except for one. And he's got to really continue to find those windows. And then Kentucky defensively, force him to take those checkdowns. Force him to be very patient with the football.
Pierce stood up at the line of scrimmage. Jaquez Jones was waiting for him. Maybe a gain of a half yard.
And that play again is made by Josh Paschal. You know, the penetration off the ball to force Pierce to put his foot in the ground. Watch four again. Watch him get through the line of scrimmage again. Force the penetration. Win right there. Forces Pierce to have to set his feet and cut back again to all where those defenders are. You're seeing again that discipline by this Kentucky defense pay off.
Lob to the sideline. There's Copeland, perfectly timed. Right about the first down line to gain. They'll actually mark him a yard short. So it will be 3rd down and 1.
Nice timing out route between Emory Jones and Copeland. Copeland, I think they got to get a little bit more involved in the pass game in this 4th quarter.
Swing pass, Whittemore. That's good for a first down.
Some of this tempo for Florida helping their offense right now, just getting a little bit of a rhythm. They've been so stagnant at points in this game. A little bit of this tempo, getting the ball to the perimeter, is helping them.
Emory Jones runs the option, pitches one to Dameon Pierce. Inside the 45, down close to the 40-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 41. 6 yards. Pushed out by J.J. Weaver.
Remember, this Kentucky defense is doing this without their kind of bull in the middle, Marquand McCall. And guys like Josiah Hayes have stepped up and played meaningful snaps. And now they're going to spread Kentucky out again, put formation into the boundary, force the one-on-one coverage up top. With the motion to Pierce out, you're emptying your backfield. Find your matchup.
Quarterback run. Emory Jones, he's got a first down. To the 35-yard line. Quarterback run. Under pressure is Jones. Hoists one to the sideline and throws it away. J.J. Weaver. All kinds of pressure on Emory Jones. And I think if our referee microphone was working, what they're trying to tell you is no intentional grounding as Malik Davis was in the area.
Look at the top of the screen. Whittemore is going to come wide open with one of those fake quarterback draw shot plays. If that pressure doesn't get home from Kentucky, that's touchdown Florida. So credit that to that defensive line getting through, saving a touchdown.
Emory Jones, quarterback draw, into the secondary, and into the red zone with a Florida first down.
The defensive line showing a little bit of tired legs. Beautiful job by that offensive line for Florida getting up into that second level. And Florida and Dan Mullen have found a little bit of something here with this quarterback run, spreading them out, forcing this defensive line to play when they're tired.
Malik Davis, another good run. He picked up 8 down close to the 11-yard line before he was tripped up by Trevon Rivka. And we have another player down. Cramping has been an issue multiple times tonight. We'll come back. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. And this is just the first half of a primetime SEC doubleheader here on ESPN. Auburn, LSU coming up next. They'll kick in about 10 minutes. And as soon as we are done here in Lexington, we'll head to Death Valley. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Katie George will bring you that one. After the injury timeout, second down in the red zone for Emory Jones. Malik Davis to his left. Again, quarterback fake run. Emory Jones lobs one into the end zone. The adjustment by Copeland. It was underthrown, and he couldn't fight his way back in time to the football. Now it's third down and a long 2.
The Kentucky defense has rolled the dice a couple times tonight in man coverage. Mosley does an awesome job of not buying what Copeland's selling, the stock fake fade. Just underthrown by Emory Jones under pressure. This is a moment where Florida really loves 2 things in this situation. Throwing the ball to the back and continuing to use quarterback run. I think they're going to get man coverage again by Kentucky and say beat us in one-on-one.
Emory Jones, short of the first down. And now a big decision. Will Dan Mullen take the field goal, make it a 1-possession game? Or go for it on 4th down and about 1.5 yards just outside the 10-yard line?
You've got to take the points here, right?
A field goal makes it a 1-possession game. But the Florida offense staying out there for 4th down and 2. Emory Jones up the middle. Extra effort. And he got there for the first down. Flag down on the near side of the field. Right at the line of scrimmage.
Before the snap, stop.
So a false start before the snap on Florida will now force the Gators to kick the field goal and make it a 1-possession game.
Are they calling that on 51, Stuart Reese, the right guard?
We're having a hard time with the microphone, so you couldn't hear, I think, the player they were calling it on, but I didn't see what looked like a clear false start. 33-yard field goal for Crispin. To try and make it a 1-score game. And he's got it. Florida has all of their timeouts. Kentucky still up by a touchdown. Well, Matt, we've got a 1-score game, but instead of it being a field goal margin potentially for Florida, it's still a touchdown. They had to settle for a field goal in the red zone. And a fair catch called for by Zach Johnson will bring it out to the 25-yard line. Here is the 7th second-half penalty, the false start on Ethan White.
Watch the right hand. He's going to tap the center in the silent count, and it never gets set. He never sets his hand back, and he kind of makes it one fluid movement. That's the only thing that I can think the officiating crew deemed as a false start. He's got to, once he taps that center, give it a second, give it just a moment of hesitation instead of one kind of fluid movement. I think it's ticky-tacky, but that's the only thing that I could see being the actual false start penalty.
And the 13 penalties tonight, the most that Florida has had in the Dan Mullen era. Here's Chris Rodriguez on first down. And again, just old school smash mouth football for 6 yards. Right into the heart of the Gator defense. Make it 2nd down and 4.
And this is a moment, if you're Will Levis in this huddle, you're reminding Chris Rodriguez, hold on to the ball. You know, when you're going through traffic, and that's been a situation this year with the fumbles, you're cross-covering it, meaning your offhand is covering over the football. Florida's going to be punching at it and ripping at it. When you're going to the ground, squeeze it next to your rib cage. That's got to be a big-time conversation every time you're in that huddle.
Rodriguez again. 2 more yards. Makes it 3rd down and 2. Well, last week when they were trying to end the game against South Carolina, it was Cavassier Smoke that was in there getting the money down carries, right, because Rodriguez put the ball on the ground twice.
Yeah.
So
I think you trust Rodriguez in this moment, though. You know, he's very much so gotten you into this situation. He's ran the ball well tonight. I think this is also a moment where you can utilize Will Levis as a weapon in the run game. We see it so often in college football, that zone read off that frozen defensive end.
Rodriguez, the tailback, on 3rd down and 2. Levis, bootleg off play action, under pressure, underthrow, and incomplete. And the Gators get the stop. Brenton Cox didn't fall for the fake.
This is a great job by Cox as a defensive end. Flow away from you. Wait for the quarterback to boot out. Now both of those receivers, really Cummings and Riggs, in the same spot. You want one guy to be out towards the sideline and one guy to be hanging almost where the ball gets snapped for an outlet for Will Levis. So miscommunication offensively, but a great job by Brenton Cox of staying home.
Xavier Henderson, a chance for a return, gets to the sideline and is tripped up. But good field position for Florida as he gets out to the 38-yard line. A 12-yard return with 4:39 to go and all their timeouts.
The big thing is Emory Jones has had great composure, you know, in the midst of this moment. You can trust him to run your offense here. You have plenty of time. Quarterback run is still up. Making sure that you're going through progressions if you're Emory Jones, taking your completions if Kentucky's going to play that soft zone.
Would you have had complete confidence in Emory Jones and trust in this situation, say 3-4 weeks ago? I mean,
no.
He really has made strides in Dan Mullen's mind, and I think in yours, having even seen him over the past 3 or 4 games. Let's see how he handles this. Over the middle, on time, Kamari Gamble, the tight end, 15 yards and a 1st down.
It's another example of him just trusting that progression. The hook's not there, the flat's not there. Come backside to Gamble over the middle. The window opens up in the zone. Let me deliver that strength. This has been their quarterback run formation so far in the 2nd half.
He'll throw it instead. On time to Copeland. Perfectly timed as he turns around to make the catch and gets to the 30-yard line. Another Gator 1st down, 18 more.
Look at the timing on this. Man-to-man, Copeland at the bottom of the screen. Ball's out now. He's not even turned out of his cut. It's thrown right to the back of his helmet where he can just turn around on that curl route, and it's right there. That is beautiful by Emory Jones when it comes to timing.
Another timing route. That one thrown behind Xavier Henderson.
And Kentucky's deciding to come after this offense a little bit. I think Kentucky's banking on when they get into that empty backfield set, they're trying to get us to give them a quarterback run look, and Kentucky's going, no, we want you to try and beat us throwing the football.
Complete inside the 20-yard line to Copeland. Good for a first down.
We've seen it all night. From 5, Emory Jones just getting through those progressions. He stares left, comes back, finds Copeland in that zone to the right.
And Josh Paschal is hurt. Well, if there was one player that Kentucky would pick to want on the field defensively at this point, it's got to be Paschal, and he's hurt.
How good is that by Emory Jones? Back-to-back plays right there. See how he starts with his eyes left and comes back right, and Copeland, there's that squat corner. Find that soft spot, sit there. You know, step back to the ball. I love that he steps back to the ball there before the safety makes that bang-bang hit. Those are those intricacies and kind of those little details in the pass game.
And Dan Mullen, such a quarterback whisperer, right? With so many different types of quarterbacks through his coaching career, they all seem to maximize their potential. He's got the #3 run game in all of college football. And right now, he's putting this in Emory Jones' hands.
Yeah.
This drive that could decide the game has been all his decision-making and done through the air.
I remember sitting with Coach Mullen yesterday, and I asked him point blank, like, hey, after that USF game, especially the second half, what made you think that he can go out and rectify it? And it was a big thing of understanding, listen, he's still young. He had to figure out the things that Emory didn't do well. And it was a big thing was teaching Emory, just because we gave you a look in practice doesn't mean you're going to get that look in the game. And he had to learn some of the details of the pass game.
Paschal off the field, he'll run it here, right up the middle. Inside the 10-yard line, close to another first down.
And Kentucky's going to have to walk the fine line of committing enough people to try to stop that quarterback run when it's really 11-on-11 football, but also not just playing kind of reckless man-to-man coverage and giving Florida a one-on-one ball on the outside. They got bottom of the screen. They've got Copeland one-on-one if they want to take their shot.
It is first and goal. Flip to Gamble. Bottled up. No gain on first down. Well read by Carrington Valentine, helped out by J.J. Weaver. Second down and goal.
Kentucky's strength this season defensively has been the doing your job, placing your eyes in the right place, reading your keys, playing with that discipline. It is going to be tested over the next 3 downs.
Auburn LSU getting underway on ESPN News and the ESPN app. We'll take you there as soon as we're done in Lexington. Quarterback run again for Jones to the 5-yard line. It will be third down and goal, and the clock winding down as well.
Again, down here, Florida loves quarterback run. Florida loves to go fake quarterback run and try to get something behind a second-level defense. They also love to throw the ball to their backs. Malik Davis is a fantastic pass-catching back out the backfield.
False start. Another one for the Gators. The crowd noise impacts the ability for them to get the ball snapped on time again.
False start. Offense. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Watch, there's the clap. And the guards, both Stuart Reese and White, are kind of anticipating. That's 7 or 8 tonight. And I talked before about how that clap is so difficult to hear when you're in this type of environment.
14 penalties, half of them false starts. So now it's third and goal from the 10.
And aren't you thinking Copeland and Whittemore here? If it's not quarterback run.
Jones pumps once, under pressure. Flag out. Oxendine pushed him to the sideline. Kentucky may have grabbed the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, number 90, defense. half the distance from the previous spot. First down.
That's Ribka.
Watch, does he get the left hand there?
That was actually Oxendine. They got the wrong player. Unless Ribka comes in late. No, it was Oxendine that grabbed the face mask. Be that as it may. And there's the correction. So now with 1:08 to go. And a fresh set of downs. Florida trying to tie the game at the 5-yard line. Screen to Copeland, breaks a tackle, he's in!
Didn't it look like his right knee went down?
Did they call him down? I did not hear a whistle. The player still reacted as if the play was alive.
I think his right knee goes down right at the point of catch. Slip, yeah.
An official came in and right there said that he was down back at the 8-yard line.
Previous play is under further review.
Well, they're going to review to make sure. I don't think an official blew a whistle because all of the players continue to play the play out.
It's a great job by Corker driving the football.
But he's down right there.
Yeah. For both units now, this is a timeout, right? If you're Florida, hey, what did we love in this high kind of red zone area, 10-yard line?
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Second down.
So that will put the Gators back to the 8-yard line. Close to the 9-yard line. Really a loss of about 4 yards to make it second down and goal just inside the 9.
And then if you're Kentucky defensively, you're reminding those guys, hey, when they get in this formation, this is the stuff that they love to go to. These are the pass concepts that we really got to lock in on. Again, they love throwing the ball to the backs down here. Emory's done it the past 2 weeks really well.
It's Malik Davis. He's to the left of Jones in the shotgun.
Was confirmed. The runner was down inbounds. Clock is running. We'll start on my signal.
Well, the clock's not the issue for the Gators. They've got all 3 timeouts. Flag down. This play blown dead again.
I think the tailback jumped.
Did Malik Davis move early?
Before the snap, false start, number 20, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down. False start that stops the clock inside of a minute and incurs a 10-second runoff.
Watch Malik Davis, 20 on the right side of your screen here.
Timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. This is their first charge timeout.
And now, see, that's a football move. You know, he's allowed to go in motion,
timeout.
no doubt, but that's not a I'm going in motion. That is an intent to go into a football move. That's why that's that false start.
And again, with the clock moving in that scenario, you heard the referee explain, that would be a 10-second runoff penalty as well, except you can use a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. So the Gators will now spend their first timeout, but that'll put them back at the 14-yard line. Down to 2 timeouts left, so they have the whole playbook at their disposal.
Right.
But how does this change kind of the bread and butter of what they do down in the red zone, now having to go back to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I still think quarterback run could be up for them, right? Because they can spread the field.
3 plays to get there.
Sure, so I still think they can go to that. I think if you're Florida, Emory's done such a good job of getting through progressions. If I'm calling a pass here, I'm giving him something that is a progression-based thing. Kentucky's really got to tell their defensive line, hey man, keep him in the pocket. The scramble by Emory Jones could be a backbreaker for your defense.
Are you calling plays here on 2nd and 3rd down?
Please reset the game clock to 35 seconds. 35 seconds on the game clock.
Are you calling plays here on 2nd and 3rd down with the idea that I want to set up my best 4th down opportunity to get to the end zone? They're not really a shot to the end zone team. They're a run-based team.
Right.
Now, what's your strategy here from the 14-yard line?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily thinking I got to get this ball to the end zone in the next 2 plays. I'm thinking, hey, what's our best call here on 2nd down to give us 5, 6, 7-yard range?
Quarterback run. Emory Jones runs into his own man and backs his way down to about the 11-yard line, and Dan Mullen calls timeout.
You could see Kentucky was kind of anticipating what we were. They slant and stunt their defensive line.
30-second timeout.
Which is what you want to do.
To 29 seconds.
Which is what you want to do versus quarterback run. You want to slant those defensive linemen so that it's not easy for the offensive line to just, okay, guys in front of me, let me move him. And you can get unblocked defenders going towards your quarterback.
Again here on 3rd down.
Yep.
Is the strategy for Dan Mullen, I want to call a play that's maybe going to get me inside the 7, inside the 5.
Yep.
If I score, great.
Yes.
But I need to set up the down and distance that on my offense is better in to try and get the ball in the end zone.
This is where
4th down, or is there an option here on this play to get the ball to the end zone?
Yeah, there is, yes. I think that you see the coaches' call sheets, right? And it's all by kind of situation or location on the field. And you've got your 3rd and goal from the 8+. You go to that package right there. Hey, and you put people in front of the goal line, no doubt, but you always want an option to get the ball in the end zone.
Well, the Gators still have a timeout remaining.
Put your eyes on number 4. Top of your screen, defensive end for Kentucky.
Pascal back in. Emory Jones, only a 3-man rush. Floats one left. There's Malik Davis. Bottled up and pushed out of bounds inside the 10. It'll come down to 1 play. Now the clock is stopped, so the Gators don't have to call timeout. If you're Dan Mullen, do you? Just to bring your offense over and try and get into your perfect play?
Yeah, I think that's smart. There's no reason to keep the timeout. Call timeout. Make sure Emory Jones knows exactly what has to be done with the football.
And he will do that.
So this is a moment when, if you're Dan Mullen, you're reminding Emory a couple things. 1, you do not go down with the football. This football gets thrown. Number 2, if nothing's there, create. Number 3, if that ball gets thrown short of the goal line, you better be 100% sure that that receiver can get in the end zone, right? Sometimes there are receivers that are running these hooks or shallows that happen, and everyone gets so deep on the defense that he can get that last yard or 2. And if you're Kentucky, you're making that ball get thrown in front of you. Rally to the football, population to the ball. Now, when you're playing zone, if you're going to play zone, if Kentucky, Emory's got to use his eyes. You got to use your eyes to open people up and create a passing lane.
Well, Kentucky is 4-0 because of their defense, more than anything else. Dealing with all the giveaways their offense has had so far this season. And now they've got 1 snap to try and pull off this upset with their defense on the field.
And remember, Emory did not get the ball in his hands against Alabama a couple weeks ago in a very similar situation. You got size at the top of your screen with Shorter, Whittemore and Copeland at the bottom of your screen. So one-on-one, I think Shorter. Zone, I'm thinking bottom of the screen, working those 2 best receivers.
Here we go, 4th and goal. 1 play for the Gators. Emory Jones into the end zone, broken up at the goal line by Jones. Kentucky will win it. That flag dropped by the officials during the Kentucky celebration.
He's trying to get Whittemore on the left side of the screen. He gets zone coverage. Jones does an awesome job of getting the left hand up there. This ball just a little higher, a little earlier, a little higher by Emory Jones, and Whittemore might have a shot. But credit Kentucky's defense. Whittemore follows Emory Jones's eyes, and just an outstanding job of jumping for that pass breakup. And this place is going absolutely bonkers.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. First down.
They just picked up the unsportsmanlike conduct foul. I guess the official said they haven't beaten the Gators at home since Dan Orlovsky was 3. We're going to let them celebrate.
Come on, officials. What a great job by this Kentucky defense, man. That disciplined style, that bend, don't break. Trusting each other. These kids are going to get their way onto this grass.
All that's left is for Levis to take a knee, and that makes it official. The celebration is on in Lexington. Think a win over the Gators means something to the Kentucky football program and their fans?
Mark Stoops said it. He thinks if they keep doing what they're doing, they'll become a top 4 SEC program. This feels like one of those wins.
Let's go down to Chris with the coach.
Coach, how did your defense get this done tonight?
That's pretty special. To get what was that, 8 stops? Eight stops basically there at the end. Really incredible. Shows a lot of toughness and resiliency. Great win.
It's been since 1986 since you've beaten Florida on this field. Where does this win rank in your tenure here?
It's another win. I tell our players all the time, if we want to play in big games, take care of what's right in front of us. And that's practice. It's this next game. I'm happy for our fan base. We've been tormented. We've had some really close games with the Gators for a long time. It's good to win one at home for them.
This fan base certainly helped you today with how loud it was. What does a win mean for this program?
There's no doubt they helped. Now see, this is what I'm talking about. We need Kroger Field like this every week. They affected the game. We need all the help we can get. It's great for our fan base. It's great for our kids. We're happy. We'll celebrate tonight, and we got to go back to work next week.
You're giving some hugs there right before the clock hits 0. For you, what does this win mean?
Just the next thing that's in front of me. I really do. It's again, I'm happy for our fan base. It's been a long time. We've worked hard for a lot of years. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to celebrate tonight. I'm going to go back to work tomorrow morning.
Go celebrate with the rest of them, Coach. Congratulations.
That celebration is just beginning here in Lexington. Coming up next, we will head to Baton Rouge. Auburn and LSU underway. The final again. Kentucky does it. They beat Florida 20-13. For Dan Orlovsky and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen. Time to head to Death Valley. More SEC football. Craig McElroy and Joe Tessitore.